morning, good afternoon, good evening, whenever this happens to be arriving in your reality of now. For me, it's middle of the night, late evening, a little too early for it to technically be morning. All right, let me light a candle. Body. Mind. Spirit. Interesting. All right. The mind had to be lit twice. I moved on. It's a 3-wick candle. It's doing things on purpose. You are accountable for your actions, your behavior, and the way that you think will set your emotional constitution of you. I had a friend make a comment about how I refuse to be victimized, and it felt like such a, wow, thank you. And yeah, you're right. To be victimized would be allowing others to take that isn't theirs to take. When you spend your time, energy, and effort stuck in your head, replaying PTSD moments, there are certain things that near misses in a car causes my body to replay an accident. That will eventually, hopefully, not be a thing. I was talking to a friend of mine who is a bit of a race car driver, and he's aware of it. He is also incredibly quick on his reflexes and can get in and out of traffic and flow with ease. So for him to drive fast, fairly safe bet he'll be correct in his alignment, and other than speeding tickets, can get away with it. Someone putting on their mascara in a car, on their phone, in a I haven't yet had caffeine and I'm pissed to head to work kind of mode, their reflexes will be different. Your left and right hemisphere of your brain balances your logic and your emotions. Both side hemispheres, you deserve to have in flow and function. So we are going to pull the lighting the candle and lighting the mind twice. And it's just a 3-wick. It's simply a 3-wick candle, not just. I love candles, and it smells really good. And it's a fun color. Anyhow, and I got a good deal for it. Anyhow, not just. I perceived that has extra focus to the mind. Plus, looking at the time, I woke up from a deep sleep, and here I am now producing a video. Awareness of how you talk to yourself in your head is important, and it will help you create your own reality at a higher level of frequency and vibration. Frequency and vibration, that's not really something you can compare to others external. I mean, yeah, you can have a perception of, oh, us are so much better than the thems, but you're still swimming in your karmic soup of emotionality, and that's held into place by the chemicals in your blood. Our muscles, as they get tense, sore, and yada yada, they hold on to the memory of. massage. If it is affordable in your reality, weekly massages, monthly massages. A regular, you being relaxed while someone else presses on your muscles releases chemical influence through your bloodstream. Being relaxed and being at ease and allowing that to flow out will give you opportunity to continuously reset. So does sleeping, hugging a tree, sunsets, sunrises. There's a lot of things that constantly recalibrate you and set you for your highest and greatest good over and over and over. I have a heart sister of mine. I used to live next to her, and touch wasn't something she was overly welcomed with. It was a difficult thing for her. If something is difficult for you, that's probably not your best flow of relaxation and ease. So while I say massage is good, it's not good for you if it's work. It's not good for you if it's a financial hardship. It's not good for you if. It's important that you validate and quantify what fulfills your needs. Sometimes that can be hard to know or understand, especially if your pattern of life is in somebody else's flow. That song, Jesus Take the Wheel. Anyhow, we're going to pull a card, body. 2 cards for body. Abundance and curiosity. Oh, why did I say abundance? Reflection. 33. And curiosity. 33 breaks down to a 6. Curiosity, 15, breaks down to a 6. Body. Let's go to mind. Let me see if I sit back. You can see the cards a little. All right, we're going to take these 2. 3. Mind. 3 for mind. Compassion. 15. Breaks down to a 6. We'll put that next to curiosity. Soul, 37. 10. Breaks down to a 1. And divine feminine, 16. Breaks down to a 7. 7s have a lot for me personally with temple, church. It is, 7 to me would represent the body being a temple. 7 layers of your skin, cellular structure and layers. 7, also it has a lot of green energy for me. Green energy is incredibly healing. It also can represent greed, jealous, envy, that stuff. Although that's not where my focus point. All right. I'm seeing that as 6, 6, 7. I'm adding compassion to the numerology, the soul, which adds it to a 7, to the divine feminine, 16, 7. So I'm seeing 6, 6, 7, 7. Body, mind, soul. Your spirit. I believe everybody is spiritual. It is not irrelevant because that makes it sound flippant, but regardless of your belief pattern practice, everybody's spiritual and sacred. You are God's child, and that is in your DNA. I am God's child. It's my isness, my I am. Connection to source helps you feel good. Sometimes we're in a program play of not feeling good. All right, soul. Body, mind, soul. That one wanted. Quick look. We're putting them all back though. Reflection, delight. Okay. Soul. Body, mind, soul. Hello. 40 breaks down to a 4. There's a couple more that want to come out, but we're not letting them. Body, mind, soul, tenderness. You are loved, respected by your ancestors. You are loved by divine source, and they hold you in high esteem. What jumped in my head was emotional intelligence is low, which that's not the best way to word it. If your emotional constitution is in a lower state, you're accustomed to not feeling very good or very happy or very content, peaceful. Maybe accustomed to stress and worry and grief and yada yada. When your emotional constitution is less than your normal, less than your less than you wish, less than you want it to be, it can be hard to feel the divinity. When people are healed, they don't really have as many mommy-daddy issues. They remember things in a kinder light. Hold on, before I expand on that. Bottom is the heart chakra. Hello, 4. And what a pretty green. Top of the deck is 3rd chakra. Well, the light language energy is going to be braced between the 3rd and the 4th chakra. Why in between the two? I know not. Well, I probably do, but we won't go into that. But that's where the energy will be focused on. And we will pull a card for that. While I'm doing light language, the numbers I'll be focusing on will be 6677. 4s, this might sound a little odd, but 4s, mermaids, the ocean, you are quite a bit of water. Earth, quite a bit of water. In the air, moisture. There is a 4th stage in water. When I work with 4s, it is like this pretty golden, bright yellow golden kind of energy. But it is a water memory. You speak to your plants and tell them good things, they grow better. When you speak to yourself kindly, you grow better. You can look up the 4th stage of water and see the type of sacred geometry, but snowflake shapes that positive words, good affirmations, good influence gives. This is why words of affirmation are so incredibly necessary and healthy, especially if you speak them out loud because your vessel listens. You're 7. All right, my feet are actually crossed and my hands are crossed also. Barefoot would be optimal. Focus on Gaia, allow her to touch your toes, have access to your feet. I'll be focusing on the hands and the feet and drawing a gridded braid system between the 3rd and the 4th chakra. I'm going to read it for a moment. The energy of the solar plexus chakra helps us to realize who we are and who we want to be so that we can set course towards our goal. A lot of what you do, who you do, why you do, all of these things, the type of job, occupation, how you identify self, I'm speaking more for America at the moment, but it's stuck. It's that work until you die. That energy is sometimes confined. And then the energy of the heart, that one, it was the fourth chakra. I'm not going to read it well, I will read it. I wasn't going to read it because most of us have a good impression of what our heart is and where it is in the chakra and blah, blah, blah. But the frequency of the heart chakra, the green flower of life, supports our capacity to love deeply and unconditionally. The healing properties harmonize the mind and the body. The mind and the body. Thank you. It's good that I read it. Our heart is aware of everything around us at all times. Our perception of things can get clouded, misguided, or fogged with what our brain is expecting. I was sitting next to a beautiful person who is a former teacher, and she was telling me of she's substituting in a class, and a young black girl comes up to her, and she's a little uncomfortable, and she's sharing secret kind of energy, and she's like, I'm not allowed to talk to white people, but can I hug you? And she wanted a hug from her. And she didn't want her family to know about it because she's been taught a certain way. Her heart knew that person was good. Her brain didn't understand it. And the needing to live the way that she was taught was the barrier at play. Our brain can, with ease, flow, and function to where you don't even recognize you do it, put up barriers and blocks of things that your heart is aware of. And that will give you a soup of less abundant feeling. That hugs, one, are incredibly powerful. But that sense of safety, security, belonging, your heart brings all that to you. Our brain, I once went on a date with somebody, and it was kind of a blind date. And I'm looking across from him, and his facial features and the way that he looks reminded me of a previous person. And I'm watching him mulling over a quick transcript of the lessons learned, behavior, and pattern of the previous person he reminded me of, and debating, is this a move forward, or is this a universe telling me you've been there, done that? And the way that I walk away from that dining room table is going to be contingent on my perception of that relationship, the emotions I felt. You will continue running into the same person. They could have a different gender, different age, different face, different that. You'll continue running into that same lesson in life until you get it. I love karma. And karma is a force of good for your good. So is dharma. I know I'm just playing with the two words a bit, but you have the capacity to drop your karma. And what I mean by that is collective consciousness, since 2012 for my belief system, has been able to embrace a higher level of consciousness. And with that, you don't require lessons of pain that are irrelevant. Tenderness, body, mind, soul. All right, 1919, we're going to start light language. Give Gaia permission to heal at your highest, greatest good. I'll be focusing between your third and fourth chakra system and utilizing numbers the way that I do. Deep breath in and a slow release out. Kuyatria Shusuyatara Moniatria Sanayashuya, Tarisatakushamaniata, Satopoyataria Satukushamanianiato, Kamoyananiasa. Niatu Shusuyataria, Tariskumanatria, Satarisha Satarita Poyananiatria. Niasu Shususuataria, Sakaria Sanayataria, Sumoniataria, Shusuataria. Tietu Samonia Shusuyataria, Satukarayataria, Saturishabayataria, Trishanoniata. Nia suya taria sakuya skubuya taria sashuyanana. Nia suya taria sakuya shasuya monia sasuya taria sakaria shara puya satria satria sakuria tada shataria puya taria naniata. And release. All right. I am going to put these together, and then I'm going to let them sit with a candle as I go back to rest. But one, it amuses me. Your connection to self, your higher self, your highest self, the more that walks into your vessel, the healthier you become, the stronger, the more dynamic you. No one can be you. Trying to be someone else rips us all off and cheats us out of you. Who you are can be lost in the matrix, especially if you're accustomed to always being in another flow pattern. You have full control over self. Sometimes your steps need to be little baby steps internally in your head. I am loved. I am loving. I am kind. I see kindness. And then look for the kindness. On my personal Facebook page, I had mentioned heat being an issue in the house. And then I got an invitation to 2 different locations for my entire clan to be warm. A friend's like, hey, do you need a place? And that just melted my heart. I was like, whoa, wow, thank you. The kindness. And I would do that. Having someone else do what I would do, it felt good having that person in my reality and finding her in my new space. It was universal huggy is how it felt. Okay, random card in Friendship 22. Okay. So I was peeking. All right, random card in reference to the light language. And then I'm going to post this as I go back to bed. You're authentic, your throat. That young child I had mentioned who was taught not to trust a certain type of people based on skin color and demographic, she would be unable to go home and tell, it was my mom said, tell her mom, my teacher taught me yada, 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 and she gave me a hug and I had a good day. She couldn't express the happy and the joys in the moment because most likely she doesn't want her mom to know she hugged somebody. Your authentic self, when it is at its full capacity of expansion, it doesn't have to dance on eggshells and tap dance and try and, it's, here I am. It's okay not to be there or be prepared to be there or ready to be there. Don't think less of yourself because your authentic self isn't out for everybody to see and celebrate and cheer. Your authentic self, that is personal between higher self and you. You come out when you're ready. You speak when it's time. And if you've got active pain going through your body, it's not time unless the person you speak to has wisdom, has your highest, greatest good at their heart center, has no motive. Being vulnerable in places I went through something where I regretted my own kindness, and that took healing on me because it's one of my favorite things about myself. And kindness is magical. The power of the pain that I felt over perception of let me know it's healing time. There's a soul sister who calls it emotional hospital, and I had never heard that term before Kate's Regretless Life. And I thought that's a perfect mindscape. Emotional pain is real. I'm not a fan of mind games, manipulation, that kind of thing. I kind of find it gross. It stops the authentic. And it is a power play that's irrelevant and unworthy. The way that you feel and your emotions, good, bad, this, that, depending on what you're going through, you can always Google Abraham Hicks and then whatever it is, and look for videos where she addresses it directly. I randomly, when I see her videos, and I randomly will like to listen in. So I get all sorts of, not necessarily what I'm focusing on, but because it's Abraham, I'm in. Let me hear. Chiron's like that for me also. And I very seldom, I haven't heard him say things I disagree with, other than sometimes he'll have a preconceived belief that you're not ready to hear it. I'm not wording that well. Sometimes he's speaking about people not being ready, and I've been ready for a while, and I understand exactly what he's saying. And so hearing the societal point isn't my truth. So, and that's just in the verbiage of how he explains things. It's not his channeling. I got to see him in person. I didn't come up and say hello. I observed. But I watched 4 of them on stage. I was sitting in a chair, 4 of them on stage, and I got to feel them channel in and out. And then, because of the way things worked out, the person that I was there to see, I had her do an astrology reading for me. And I was speaking to her and organizing that. And that made it to where they restarted and I wasn't there in my seat. And I was not going to walk up, and my seat was up front. I wasn't going to walk up and disturb people. So when I went back in, I went and sat on the ground, which also worked well for me because I like to ground my energy. And then I got to feel the 4 of them shift in and out again. And I realized those 2, the seated posture I sensed their movement, and then my on the ground posture I sensed the movement was what I physically needed for self. All right, that was quite a bit of blah, blah, blah. All righty. Take care, be well, and sweet dreams.